Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of some Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Uh, I'm your host here, Ramon. Wanted to make a video. There was no community update this week from the devs, so there's not a ton of news to discuss or any new things that have come out or any new information. So uh, I wanted to discuss actually leader abilities. I wanted to make a top five leader abilities video, but not the top five leader abilities that you may be thinking. Now we all have our we all know the staples out there, right? Your recently, obviously, the Anakin lead has gotten a huge step up. We all about our old Bens, our Count Dooku's, the Rex, the Qui-Gon Jinns, the HK-47. Obviously now, as people are making droid teams, much like mine, HK-47 leader is fantastic. So you're seeing a lot of these leaders out there. But I wanted to discuss the leader abilities that you don't necessarily see all the time in Arena. The ones that, the hidden gems. Let's say, and some of them are, obviously used. Again, I'm sure, wherever there's an idea or a theory crafter out there, there's somebody who's able to, put together a team that you don't commonly see out there. But especially now with mods, you can make adjustments to characters, and you can rework a team to make it work in Arena. But they're not necessarily going to be the most popular out there, and those are the characters I want to discuss. So what I've done is I pulled up the meta report over here on swgoh.gg. Let's get right into it here. Okay, this is a pie chart here showing the top 10 leaders at rank 1 currently. And, obviously, as I said before, Jedi Knight Anakin has seen a huge increase. He's now the most used leader in the game, and that's second to a tie with Captain Phasma and HK-47. Now, Captain Phasma is obviously a universal leader. You can use Captain Phasma in pretty much every facet of the game, from raids to galactic wars, to your dark side battles, to cantina battles, to arena. So I mean, you can really use Captain Phasma in any part of the game, and she is a great leader. Her ability to call and assist is fantastic, especially if you have other hard-hitting characters. And she also has a whole ton of other tools that are really great as well. So Captain Phasma all the time. HK-47 gives turn meter to droids for critical hits. Rex, also you see out there. Now Rex is a direct counter to the droid team. Rex is probably the best leader to counter a droid team. So you can see how you can see almost as many Rex leaders as you see HK leaders, because whenever you have a team that's going to start to become more popular, you're going to have a direct counter to that team that's going to also become popular as well. Old Ben is still in there. He's obviously seen a huge decline, but Old Ben was for a very long time the most popular leader in the game with his evasion lead. Now, Wedge Antilles has seen a huge increase since his rework. Wedge, now his leader ability is working, and it's phenomenal. So I've seen videos of Wedge doing over 10k damage on his AOE's to characters, and with Biggs Darklighter, that synergy that they worked in there, they're doing a lot of damage together. So when I max out my Wedge, I will definitely be putting out some more content on that, or a video on that, and we'll go over the Wedge leader a bit more in detail. Obviously, Akbar, Dooku, and Qui-Gon Jinn. You see some little bit of IG-88 in there. But again, these are the more popular leaders, especially the Anakin and the Phasmas, and those characters that you see in Arena pretty much all the time. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a top five leaders that you don't commonly see in Arena today. And at number 5, I have none other than Ima-Gun. Now, Ima-Gun is a Jedi, okay, and he is definitely a very interesting character. Has a great leader ability. All allies gain 30 defense, and Jedi allies gain 35% counter chance and 25% counter damage. Okay, so this is great because you have characters that work directly, or that synergize directly with his leader ability, like recently free to play Ayla Secura, for example. Uh, she has an innate 65% counter chance inside of her in her unique. So she, with the combination of the Ima-Gun leader, now has 100% counter chance. Okay, she also has an innate 50% counter damage. So added to the Ima-Gun lead, she now has 75% counter damage. So that's 100% counter chance with a 75% plus 75% counter damage as well. She also has a crit chance uh, in her unique as well, and whenever she crits, she also stuns. So um, she's going to be doing a ton of damage. She's also going to be stunning characters. They also recently fixed her stun, where before it wasn't actually stunning for an entire turn, and now that bug has been fixed. So she's just she's seen a huge increase in arena as well. But like I said, not behind an Ima-Gun lead, which is a really great synergy. There's also Kit Fisto, who's still currently a Chromium exclusive character, but he has 35% counter chance in his unique. I recently had a comment in one of my videos where somebody was asking if we'd ever seen a full counter team before. I know a friend of mine that actually runs a team with Ima-Gun lead and Kit Fisto and Ayla Secure, and he does very well with it. But it's just not something you see very frequently out there. You can run obviously a full counter team if you had, let's say, Sunfac. Let's say Ima-Gun lead with Ayla Secura, Kit Fisto, Sunfac, and Count Dooku, or maybe Fives. There's a few other characters that also do counter attack as well. So you could definitely put together a nice team, or you could throw other Jedi in there as well and just add the counter chance to them, obviously Qui-Gon Jinn, or whoever else you find to be effective in that team. But just a really cool leader ability, again, that you just don't see every day. Now, moving along to number 4, we have none other than Luke Skywalker, lightsaberless Luke. Okay, now Luke is a rebel character, okay, and his leader ability is, let's say, kind of niche, okay, a little niche leader ability, not one that you commonly see. It's 45% tenacity to all allies. So it's cool because it's not only for rebels, okay, and 45% tenacity is a significant increase in tenacity, okay. So now, where this is really going to help out is, let's say you're facing a team like, let's say, the droids, where they inflict a lot of detrimental effects, like speed down, or healing immunity, or buff immunity, or ability block, or crit chance down, or any abilities like that. There are other circumstances maybe where tenacity might be beneficial as well. Now, for example, the new raid. We don't know what is going to be coming from the new raid. We don't know if we're going to be getting detrimental effects from the raid bosses. So we really don't know what to expect yet. But we do know that whatever it is, it could need a leader that gives tenacity to the entire team, because this is 45% tenacity. That's not including any tenacity that you put on your characters through mods. So you have the ability with mods to put a primary of 24% additional tenacity on a character, and that's not including any secondary stats that have tenacity as well. So you can definitely increase a character's tenacity significantly. Also with tenacity mods that give you additional tenacity. So there's tenacity sets, and it's just again a cool leader ability that in the right circumstance may make a lot of sense, but again, it depends on what opponents you're facing on your server, and maybe what game mode you're playing in. So we'll see, but again, just not one you see very commonly. I've never faced a Luke Skywalker leader in arena, but That's definitely a cool leader ability. Now, going along here to number 3. Okay, we have the Lando Calrissian. Okay, so Lando is also a rebel character and a scoundrel, and his leader ability is pretty cool. Okay, so uh, Lando, fast and loose here. Scoundrel and rebel allies gain 15 speed and 29% critical damage. Now, uh, the the unfortunate thing is that it's limited to only scoundrels and rebels, but um, the great thing is that a whole bunch of characters were just recently made rebels. I'm sorry, made scoundrels, and there is a huge stable of rebel characters in the game. So, um, you know, giving speed and crit damage like that to characters, basically 30% crit damage, is a huge amount. And we have, obviously, like I said, now recently, Stormtrooper Han is a scoundrel. He was already a rebel too, so that's kind of irrelevant. But Gamorrean Guard is now a scoundrel. IG-88 is now a scoundrel. So, um, with that increase in crit damage, that's just a huge benefit, and that's not including any crit damage mods that you can maybe put on. You can put on a crit damage set, which will give you an additional 30% crit damage. So you're talking about an additional 60% crit damage, and that's not including any primary stats that you can throw on a character through the mods as well. So that's pretty cool. And again, he also has a special ability, an AOE that works directly with crits. He gets to uh, uh, get a cooldown of his ability if he crits more than once, and then he does 100% more damage on its next use. So, and that's going to obviously do a ton of damage with his leader ability as well. So, and then obviously, anytime you can get an increase in speed, that's a huge benefit too. So, just a great leader ability. Don't really see Lando lead in arena at all. So, just one I wanted to discuss. Now, moving along to number 3. Sorry, number 2. The number 2 not common leader that you see out there is IG-88. Now, IG-88 was on that list, okay, of the meta report, but was the least used that you can see out there. Again, I know there's teams out there that are using IG-88 lead, but just not very frequently, not one that's very common. I've never faced an IG-88 lead in arena. Now, IG-88 is obviously a droid character. Now, what's cool about his leader ability here, which is Resourceful Pursuer. Okay, all allies gain 20% critical chance and inflict damage over time effects whenever they score a critical hit. So that means every time an ally crits, you're going to inflict damage over time on your opponent. So where this leader ability really works well is obviously with the Geonosian Spy that just came out. The Geonosian Spy has a unique ability which gives him 70% turn meter every time a Geonosian ally inflicts a negative status effect. So now Sunfac inflicts negative status effects already, and so does Poggle, but Geonosian Soldier doesn't. But behind an IG-88 leader, he can, as long as he critically hits the opponent. So that means every time that Geonosian Soldier crits, or Sunfac crits, or Poggle the Lesser crits, they're going to inflict a damage over time, dot over an enemy, which will give the Geonosian Spy 70% turn meter. He also does increased damage based on negative status effects as well. So it's just a cool leader ability. It has other applications as well. Obviously, it does not only need to be with a Geonosian team, but that full Geonosian team is really cool. And again, just a great leader ability that has a lot of benefits to it. Another thing to remember is that IG-88 himself has plus 45% crit damage. as his unique, and he deals 20% more damage for each negative status effect, or sorry, for each enemy suffering a negative status effect. So if all 5 opponents are suffering damage over time effects, he's going to do 100% additional damage on top of his plus 45% crit damage as a unique, and that's not including his base stats. So that's a ton of damage. That's why it's great, that he can, or anybody on his team can inflict negative effects with any type of attack as long as it's a critical hit. So pretty cool. Again, just not one you see very commonly. And now going on to the number one leader ability, most, not commonly seen in Arena. I'd have to say that would be Boba Fett. Yes. The Boba Fett leader is not one you see in Arena very frequently. I know there's, somebody in TeamSkunk, Omega, that currently runs a Boba Fett leader, with a Darth Maul. And, with mods, you can, make alterations to the characters to make characters, more viable. The problem with Boba Fett is his leader ability is great, but he is not a great character. Okay, he's, his base is not, he's not very fast. He doesn't do a ton of damage. Really the best part about him is his leader ability. So let's go over that here. Dead or alive, all allies gain 50% critical damage and 10% critical chance. So that is a huge amount of critical damage. From the few times I have tried out a Boba Fett leader in, my challenges, I have an ally that, shares Boba Fett. It does a lot more damage when he's the leader and you are able to benefit from his leader ability. Obviously, you get the increase in crit chance as well, and that's, again, not including any base stats or mods or anything like that. So you can, obviously have a primary stat that gives you, plus 30, or 34, I believe it's 36% crit damage, and then you also have, the ability to have a crit damage set of mods, which gives you an additional 30% crit damage. So you're talking about over 100% critical damage, if you, combine all those factors behind a Boba Fett lead. Of course, you can alter Boba Fett, make him faster, make him hit harder, and all that to make it work. Again, just not one you see very commonly. What's great is it's for all allies, and again, not only for scoundrels. So that's a great ability. But again, the Boba Fett is definitely somebody I'd like to work a little bit more on, and maybe at some point down the road, run an arena match once I get some other priorities taken care of first. Yeah, I mean that's the top 5 leader abilities you don't necessarily see every day in Arena, or top 5 uncommon leader abilities. If you guys like this, let me know. Obviously like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, you can always reach me over at teamskunk.com. You follow the instructions to go over to our Discord, and you can send me a private message there. If you have any questions about the community, or you'd like to know anything about the community at all, we have tons of tips, guides, and tools for mods and things like that right on lordskunk.com. You can go there and check that out and find out some more information about that. We're always actively recruiting for new Team Skunk members. We're adding new guilds. We have over 16 guilds currently right now, ranging from anywhere from T7 raids to T1 raids, and I'm sorry, T3 or T4 raids. Any skill player, any skill level for any type of player. Anyway, I hope you guys liked it. If you have any suggestions for the future, please, don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comments section. I love any feedback that I can get. But again, thanks for checking out my video, and I hope you guys have a great night. May the Force be with you.